I want to head back to court now where the jury is listening to that taped police interview with the defendant after the murder.
You said that last night your daughter was kind of fussy and wasn't going to bed, so between 10 and midnight.
She went to sleep fine. She, every once in a while, has like, I don't even want to call them night terrors, but it was like she was having a bad dream. So she was kind of fussing in her sleep. She wouldn't wake up. And so I was just kind of up in between reading my book with her. And I know it was close to midnight before I put it down.
Okay. Anything else kind of off or just strange about last night?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. So you fall asleep between midnight. You think that you get up around 3 because that's your kind of your usual
normal time.
Okay. And then you go back to bed.
Shut the door. The kids are in there. I went back to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was like hard asleep when there was it sounded like something crashed in the kitchen. It sounded like something falling, which seems to happen a lot in that house. But the house is torn apart right now because we're working on it. I've got stuff sitting everywhere.
Okay.
It was loud.
Like help me out here. Was it?
So we have a wire rack in the shower, and it's on a suction hook thing, and it fell a couple days ago, and it was loud, and it sounded just like that. Not just like that, but loud like that, like a racket.
So no sounds of like glass breaking or anything like that, just kind of a loud, like you said, a ruckus.
Yes.
Okay. And that woke you up, or that?
It scared me.
Okay.
Kind of laid there for a second. See if kids woke up, which they didn't. It seems like there's always something stupid once a week that him and I get up and see because of the highway or something. And I got up and I peeked in the living room and he was laying there, and I went to the kitchen and turned the light on in the living room, and then
Okay.
I looked in there first before I went to the kitchen, and it looked like he was sleeping.
Okay.
I swear I heard him snore.
Did you happen to see him when you got up to go to the bathroom? Did you happen to see him there then? Do you remember?
You have to look around the corner to see him.
Okay, so you didn't go and see him at that time? Okay.
He went to the bathroom.
Okay. So you said that you get up, you hear the noise, you wait there for a minute, you get up, and you go out, you see him sitting there, then you go and turn on the light to the kitchen?
I went in the kitchen, there's always a light on in there, so I didn't turn on the light. I went in the kitchen and looked out the window over the sink.
Okay.
Towards the driveway, looked around the living room or the kitchen. There's nothing on our walls anywhere because we've been painting and everything. I didn't see anything, so I went in and I don't know if I said his name or not.
Okay.
I turned on the light and it just looked like he was sleeping.
Okay. So when you turn on the, did you turn the light on in the living room there?
The table lamp.
The table lamp?
Yes. I scared my kids so bad.
Yeah. So when you turn on the light, what exactly do you remember seeing?
It just looked like he was sleeping.
Okay.
And then I walked up to him to touch his foot, and there's blood, like, everywhere. Like, a lot. started screaming, like a lot.
Okay.
But I knew I scared the kids because Kate came running down. I don't know what I thought. I thought somebody was in the house. I put them in my bedroom and told them to lock the door. And I called Aaron.
And Aaron lives just down the road, right? Okay. So you said you tried to touch his foot, or you touched his foot to try to wake him up?
I think so. That's usually what I do, is shake his toe.
Okay.
All right, let's pause it right there for this update in the Idaho student murders case. Yesterday, Brian Koberger pleaded guilty to fatally stabbing Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Kaylee Gonsalves inside their off-campus home back in November of 2022. Now, as part of the plea deal, Koberger avoids the death penalty, which prosecutors had been seeking in the case. He will spend the rest of his life behind bars without the possibility of parole, and he can't appeal his conviction. The father of victim Kaylee Gonsalves spoke about the plea deal on News Nation last night.
Shame on me for letting Kaylee down. It's my mistake. I'm sorry, Kaylee. I'm truly sorry that I didn't get you a prosecutor who really believed what happened to you could only be fixed with life. Fixed, you killed 4 people, and to take 1 life for 4 seems like pretty simple math. But these guys describe this as a win, even though they don't ask us what a win looks like. So I'm sorry. I apologize to my daughter. I let her down, and it's been a terrible day. It's been terrible.
Koberger is set to be sentenced on July 23rd. All right, and we do have this programming note for you tonight on Vinnie Politan Investigates. The attorney for the Gonsalves family is going to join him on the show to discuss Brian Koberger's plea deal and the family's reaction to it. So tune in tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for Vinnie Politan Investigates right here on Court TV. All right, let's step aside now, folks. On the other side of the break, we'll hear more of the defendant's police interview in the Widow's Words murder trial, so keep it here on Court TV Live. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Michael Ayala. We are continuing our coverage in the Widow's Words murder trial of Karina Cooper going on in Iowa. She faces life in prison without parole if convicted of killing her husband, Ryan Cooper, back in June of 2021. But she says that she didn't do it and didn't have anything to do with it at all. She claims that her co-defendant, Huston Danker, is the guilty party. Now, he's going to get his day in court next month when he goes on trial for first-degree murder. Ryan Cooper was found dead in his recliner with the defendant sitting on top of him. He had been shot twice in the face with a .22 caliber pistol. Now, we're heading back into court where the jury is still listening to that police interview with the defendant on the day of the murder.
So let me backtrack. When you see him for the very first time, he's sitting in the chair like he's sleeping.
He's reclined in the chair, looks like he's sleeping.
Okay. And
Blankets on him.
where's the blanket on him? Like over him? Like over his chest?
Yeah.
Okay.
His feet was still. I swear he was snoring.
Okay. So, when you notice it, obviously, you see the large amount of blood, and you realize that something's wrong, right? Do you make any attempt at, do you touch him? Do you?
I crawled on him. I hit him. I think I was shaking him and screaming in his face to wake up.
Okay.
He fell on the floor next to him because I think he slipped. And I was
You think you were hitting
I
him?
think I kept hitting him and trying to get him to wake up. Shaking him.
Okay.
Holding his face.
Like hitting his chest?
I don't know, grabbing his shirt and making him up to wake up.
Okay. So you said you thought that maybe somebody was in the house?
That's what I thought.
Did you hear any other sounds or commotions or anything other than the one that woke you up?
No, nothing.
Like,
Cars go by all time of the night, but I didn't see it. I looked out the kitchen window. I didn't see anything.
okay. No sounds of like the front door slamming shut or
No,
anyone running down your deck or down your steps or anything like that?
no, nothing.
Okay. Okay. So, after trying to wake him up or get his attention, you said you called Aaron?
I called Aaron before. Well, I touched him or whatever. And then I just remember I started screaming and screaming. And Kate came down. That's when I told him to get in my room with the other two kids, and I called Aaron from in there.
Inside the room?
Yeah, I think I locked the bedroom. I was in and out. I went in and locked it, and then I thought I had to go phone Brian. I didn't know if somebody was there. I tried to get my stupid gun that I don't even know how to work and have never shot out of the safe that he said we had to have, and I couldn't even get the thing open. It's in our bedroom closet.
Okay. And how big of a safe is it? Just a little...
Just a one security type
Okay.
handgun safe that I don't even know how to open.
Okay. And
So
you couldn't get it open?
I don't think so.
Did you ever actually get the gun out of the safe?
No.
Okay.
I touched the safe, I think, because it's some stupid fingerprint thing, I think, and I put my finger on it and nothing happened, and I was screaming, and
Okay.
I called Aaron. He said he was on his way, and I went back out.
Okay.
I told the kids to stay in the room, but they wouldn't, so I kept going back in there to take them in because I didn't want them to see.
Yeah.
And I was scared. I didn't know if somebody was there.
Okay.
All right, that's the first portion of the interview that you completed. Did you then, as you discussed, ask if Karina had any relationship issues or what the relationship was between Karina and Ryan?
Yes.
Okay. And that portion was captured during the recording as well?
Correct.
All right, let's take this opportunity to pause it right there. When we come back, we're going to see the second part of that interview where they learn about Huston Danker and the issues in their relationship. Keep it here on your front row seat to justice.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, the Preppy Party murder trial nears its dramatic finish, plus the latest in the murder of Suzanne Morphew as her husband faces charges once again.
Closing Arguments, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
Friday night, the WNBA is on Ion. The dream aimed to be a nightmare for the Fever.
Shannon finishes.
Then the Sun tried to outshine the storm. Oh, like that! Coverage begins Friday, July 11th at 7. Find Ion wherever you watch. Ion, it's on.
Welcome back. It is time to get you back inside that courtroom in the widow's words murder trial of Karina Cooper. The jury is now listening to the second part of that police interview, and investigators learned about her alleged lover and co-defendant, Huston Danker.
What can you tell me about your relationship with Huston?
Danker?
Yeah.
He's my friend.
Okay. And I'm going to be blunt with you and be forward with you. The only reason we ask is Aaron made mention about maybe Ryan seeing something on your Snapchat not that that was Houston, but maybe there was something with your Snapchat.
Last fall, there was a Snapchat that wasn't even meant for me.
Okay, tell me about that.
Supposedly, Ryan saw it, not me. And he told me about it. It was something about a married woman and naked, seeing her naked or something like that.
Okay.
And Ryan saw it and confronted me, and I confronted Houston, who were friends on Snapchat, and that's it.
So
And he swore up and down in front of us that it wasn't intended for me. And that was the end of it.
So Houston sent us, I guess I'm not familiar with Snapchat, I don't use it.
Not a picture, Ryan took a picture of the, message that he sent through Snapchat about something about being a married woman or something. I barely even saw it because I didn't know what the hell it was.
Okay.
And he swore up and down it wasn't meant for me. And we had snapped each other earlier in the day that day because he got some product from my salon.
Okay.
So he said that he sent it to the wrong person.
So, I guess.
This is dumb.
We're trying to get to the bottom of dumb.
Oh my God.
We're just making sure that all the questions are answered. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it a situation where Houston sends a snap to you that's not supposed to go to you?
Supposedly.
That,
he did send a snap to me, yes.
That is about you being a married woman or naked with a married woman?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, what does Ryan say about that?
We've talked about it since then. We've talked about it with friends. That's how non-issue it became after we've talked about it. That said something about, remember, I've seen you naked, and something about a married woman.
Has Houston seen you naked?
No! God, no! 2 years old!
Oh,
No!
To each their own. I'm just...
Stupid town and their rumors. No!
Okay.
I cut his hair.
Okay.
I watched his kids a couple times when his babysitter flaked.
Okay.
Oh my God.
We don't know unless we ask. Right? So, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but it's safe to say that nothing is going on between you and Houston.
Absolutely not. After that Snapchat, I don't even talk. I don't cut his hair anymore. I told Ryan I would just keep a distance from everybody, from him, from his brother, from anybody related in that age group.
Okay.
To make him feel better, and it's been a non-issue since then.
And this was, you said last fall. Get a better time frame on that?
This snap was not last fall. It was more like this spring or late winter.
Okay. Okay.
Last fall is when I was supposedly horsing around with him because I babysat his kids and his truck was at my house because I babysat his kids. That's what all that stupid Huston Danker stuff started with.
Okay.
We're friends. Ryan didn't like him. They don't fundamentally get along. So as his wife, I said, I'm not his friend anymore. Or cutting his hair, or just keep a distance. Okay. And it was over. It was done.
Okay. When's the last time you socially interacted with Houston? Or cut his hair or anything like that?
Last fall.
Okay. Okay.
I don't talk to him. He asked me to watch his kids one time. Might have been, I don't know if it was last fall or this spring because it was field work, and I said no, that Ryan wasn't comfortable with it, but Amber, my friend Amber, would be more than willing to, and he called her and she became his babysitter.
Okay.
That's the last I've spoke with him.
And what's Amber's last name?
Monat.
Monat?
M-O-N-A-T.
Okay. Like I said, we get information and sometimes we have to ask stupid questions. Okay.
So that interview took place as you said, it started approximately 5 hours after that phone call to Aaron Cooper, which was at 4:30 a.m. You also stated then that you conducted an additional interview the following day on June 19th of 2021?
Yes.
What was the purpose of that second interview?
To try to get more information from Karina. The autopsy had been completed on Ryan, and we had completed our search of the house and processing of the house. So I had some follow-up questions for Karina that following day.
When you were going to interview that second day, what additional information beyond the information you received from the autopsy did you have?
Well, we had processed the house, so there were some questions that related to what we found at the house. I guess I don't know specifically what you're asking.
Certainly. So you had said that the house had been processed. Did you participate in what you called processing that house?
I did, yes.
And when you say process the house, what do you mean?
In this particular case, we utilized the DCI crime scene team. And so the crime scene team came and they did the majority of the processing. But in this particular case, I assisted with looking through. There was a couple of outbuildings on the property as well as some vehicles away from the residence, the actual home. And so I helped photograph and look through both those vehicles and some of the outbuildings on the north side of the property.
And briefly and just generally, what types of things were you looking for?
Just anything, firearms, any information. We weren't sure at that time whether this was maybe a break-in or attempted robbery or something like that. So we were trying to see if there was anything of value that would have been around the property that was maybe missing, as well as anything evidentiary involved in the case, just blood or anything that was out of place.
Did you locate any signs of forced entry during the processing of the scene?
No.
Did you locate any missing valuables, or did you locate valuables that were still present at the scene?
We did. I was able to locate a firearm in one of the pickups on the property, and in a separate vehicle, I located a envelope with $600 in cash and checkbooks. I believe the checkbooks were for the Cooper Farm Incorporated, their LLC or their company that they have. Those were in I would call it an older farm truck, not the nice shiny new one.
So again, a number of guns found on the property, but nothing matched the murder weapon, the casings found at the scene. So they still have not found that murder weapon. Let's bring back in former federal prosecutor, president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, Nima Rahmani, to discuss. Nima, first and foremost, I want to know if you caught what I caught when they mentioned Huston's name to her. She kind of jumped up and her whole sort of countenance changed. And then she starts going into this whole explanation about her and Huston Danker. Did you catch that?
Yeah. Of course, no. And Michael, I love many things about court TV. I love that they have the camera on the defendant as well. And it's not just her in that interrogation room. Her whole demeanor just changed. This is a very different Karina Cooper there in that courtroom, watching herself get caught in a lie. And let me tell you something. Jurors don't like being lied to. And of course, there's that jury instruction that says that if you believe a witness is lying about something and it's material, and let me tell you, having an affair when you're in your 40s with someone in their 20s, that's a material lie, okay? You can disregard their entire testimony. Obviously, she's not testifying, but this is all being introduced as evidence against her in a non-hearsay way. So it's looking really bad for the defendant in this case.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And Nima, I was going to ask you this, but I think the answer is clear. She's got 3 children in the house. Again, like you said, she's 48. I didn't realize he was only 22 at the time. I thought maybe he was a little older. That's the first time I've heard his age. So obviously, that's going to be another serious knock against her. We also heard testimony early on that because of her screams, the son, the oldest one, I think he was on 11 at the time, comes downstairs and slips in the blood. I mean, all that is really going to
Yeah.
hurt her when this jury goes back and deliberates, no?
And they're gonna hate her, right? And she even told one of the kids, "Don't sleep in the living room," right? I mean, when your kids are testifying against you, that's bad. And look, I'm a former prosecutor here talking, but obviously there's a lot of criminal defense attorneys that come on the show, and that's why they cringe, right? When their clients give these types of statements, because it can only be bad, right? Usually they lie. Now they're caught in a lie, and they got to stick to the lie or somehow explain their way out of the lie. But the jurors are going to hate someone that killed the father of their 3 children.
While they're in the house. And finally, no Huston Danker in this trial. He has his own trial. Obviously, won't be testifying in this trial against her. How much of a problem is that for prosecutors?
It's a little bit of a problem. Like, when I prosecute these cases, I love to try them together. You dirty them up, right? So the only defense here is really the empty chair defense that, it wasn't me. And obviously they're trying to force the square peg into a round hole or align their argument up to the facts, right? They're going to say that this is someone who was manipulated. It was all Danker. She didn't have anything to do with it. The problem is all the messages and the lies, it just completely undercuts that argument. So I like to call this a Hail Mary type defense only because it's the only possible defense in the case.
Yeah, fair enough.